So yeah, I don't think I'm in the mental state for this game or for this video at this moment. It's titled Retaliator, excuse me, Modularity 2014 to 2022. Again, I just don't think I'm ready for this. But here we go.
So you have the ship of your dreams, but really wish that it could be customized to suit your needs a bit more?
It's a bit early for us to sort of talk about the different modules because we haven't really sort of shown all that stuff fully off. The UK studio is sort of heading up putting that modularity stuff together, and they're actually doing some pretty cool stuff that we'll be pretty excited to show you.
What ship was this?
What you just saw there were the first concept art we've gotten from Foundry 42 of the modular cutlass.
The modular cutlass. Remember that? It wasn't supposed to be the black, the blue, the red, the green, the gray, the...
A lot of people ask us questions, why are you redoing all of those ships? And most of the time, it's either for modularity or for damage tech.
This is the Endeavor, our upcoming science ship currently in development. We gave our backers a little sneak preview of it at Dragon Con. This is not the finished version of the ship, but we're getting close. We're developing the different pods, making a few changes to the front section. And once that's done, along with the design for all of our different science options, we'll be putting it out on the site. So keep watching.
I heard fishing instead of finishing.
Well, it actually involves some fishing, so.
Well, maybe that's why.
It involves fishing.
Thanks, guys. On this week's ATV Behind the Scenes...
These were the worst times in Star Citizen's history. This was the 2014-2015 time was the time of Star Citizen can literally be and do everything. You guys just don't know it yet.
We wanted to take a look at the Endeavor science pods that are set to add all kinds of new gameplay to Star Citizen.
The Explorer, which separates from the rest of the ship to, say, explore Star's corona, travel into an
It looks literally broken.
Asteroid field.
And then we have the particle accelerator?
The particle accelerator ties into the overclocking mechanic that Chris described very...
I never understood this, by the way. I never understood why this would be a cool thing to use, but...
Early on, you will fly them off into space, get into the right place in the green band of a star, and you'll grow your crops.
And the medical modules.
Yes, so the Hope class, and this has gone back and forth internally. We've said, oh, we're going to do a separate hospital ship, no, we're going to convert this one, and so on. Part of the idea is building the ship of your dreams. We sell the base ship, and you can pick up individual modules. We sell a couple of pre-configured versions that we think will be profitable, viable ships in the verse, but it's...
And the building the ship of your dream, the idea of the modular ship, if anybody has any issues with that, I'd be surprised. I think a lot of people are excited about the Endeavor. I think a lot of people are even excited about the Galaxy for those reasons. Like, the Galaxy and the Endeavor and any other ship with modules, you would expect that CIG would continue to deliver modules even past the game's release, because it's kind of a cool idea. The problem is that they're still selling a fucking idea.
It's your adventure.
Modules will likely start coming online in-game after Arena Commander 2.0 launches. We do not have a specific date or patch to announce yet.
So the whole front of the ship has 4 modules that in time we'll be able to replace with, But
you know what? I see a lot of not only just regular people out there that aren't content creators, but I'm starting to see other content creators that err on the side of being friendly towards CIG for, whatever reasons they may have. And they're saying that a lot of this stuff is just drama for clicks and drama for views. Maybe they need to see a video like this, because this is reminding you of the behavior that has gone on for literally 10 years. And in this case, 8 years, right? Almost 9. the behavior here is actually unacceptable, where you sell ship with modularity, you continue to tell them that it's close. It was never fucking close in the first place, and it still isn't anywhere near delivered. So why should I believe you this time? Right? And it finally has come to a head where people are tired of it. This video is good for everybody. Exactly, Standing Cow. This video is good for new citizens. This video is good for older citizens. Just remind you who you're praising and who you're not keeping accountable. Just remember what you're dealing with here. This is what you're dealing with.
What we have
here.
now, which is cargo modules, to maybe an additional habitation module for more crew, or weapon modules that carry missiles. So we have...
And there's nothing wrong with what this guy's saying. All the different modules that they could put there. Yeah, imagine all the things you want, and hopefully we could put them in. He never made a statement that was like, this is going to happen. The thing that I take issue with about modularity is the amount of times it was supposed to happen and the amount of ships it was supposed to happen on. That's it.
Have the opportunity to really customize this ship from a player standpoint.
We've got these things sort of working internally, but we haven't got the nice something working internally in development is quite often a long way away from being player facing and player ready.
Okay, that's totally fine to say as well.
From the side of things here in the
Nothing wrong with that.
and the promotion and stuff like that. It's prudent on our end when we ask for things to let that player facing modular system develop a bit more before we start, making, the requests from our end. Hey, can we do this? Can we do that? Kind of stuff like that. It's just, I just think it's the responsible thing to do on our end.
Yes, medical gameplay.
Oh no. I think they're going to make him look really bad here, but those two statements are, hey, we have it working internally, but we don't have a good player facing option. Totally fine. Jared saying, until we have until it's really fleshed out, we're not comfortable sharing it with you. These are the kind of communications that are good. This is not something that's bad until whatever he says here.
And its design is ready to step back into the spotlight this month with the addition of our next concept ship to Star Citizen. Let's go to the ship teams in our Foundry 42 UK studio and let them introduce us to the brand new Apollo medical ship from Roberts Space Industries.
Switching these beds out, is that standard with any Apollo?
It's just the tier 3 ones at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we're gonna plan on that. That's one for the marketing department to decide on. The stopping point.
What? Why does the marketing team decide what goes in a ship?
Has always been
the fuck
up until now, and still a little bit now, that everything inside an object container can't talk to the vehicle that it's within, which has stopped like Retaliator modules from progressing because we needed to have the missile launchers inside the object container so that it could all be swapped out with the entire bay. But we've got the groundwork for that now. Next quarter we can hopefully do a little bit more. The biggest hurdle is really just the arts debt from having to go back to these old ships and put them all in the right place, or make space for them on ships that perhaps were never envisaged to have these items inside them. So the code will be done sooner than the art.
No, the work for that is actually scheduled in the upcoming quarter. Whether it's going to release in that quarter is not for me to say now.
Yes.
Oh, also 2020 Star Citizen is very similar to 2014 Star Citizen. Of all the things that were supposed to happen in 2020, for, I think, very obvious reasons, a lot of things didn't.
The tech for having swappable rooms is being
the
it is on the schedule for early next year. The Retaliators will be the first ones to have it proved out, because we have all the assets all there waiting and ready, and then once that's done, been in the game for a cycle, and we found any issues with it, we can start going and look at the other ships with it, that sort of stuff. We, in the near future, are putting the vehicle tech team on actually doing the tech to allow this, and we're going to start with the Retaliator, and they are simply working on the tech first, and we want to get that functional, and then we will work out when we release the actual modules.
So here's what appears to have happened. We have it working internally before object container streaming ever existed. Object container streaming broke whatever they had internally, and then now we're where we are today.
They may not be the same time frame. You may get the tech in first and then spend a quarter or two working on those modules.
Yeah, and now PES and then server, it's just probably going to continue down the line there.
The current standards.
So like actually sort of understandable, but it's the selling of it, not knowing when it's going to be done again is the issue here.
That the Retaliator has is the customizable room modules, and there's a cargo module front and back. A dropship module at the front. They were all brought up to current standards, so when modularity comes on as a swappable item, they are good to go.
So when it comes on,
that's where we're at with the first gold standard ships. Obviously going to go through all the ships, but we are going to focus on the ones that feature heavily in Squadron 42 first, and then we will roll on to your favorite ship afterwards.
Why does John Crew look like he wants to die anytime someone mentions the Endeavor?
I don't know. It's just something about that ship. Maybe it's the space farming ship that gets to me, or the absolute headache I know is going to hit us for because it was before my time at the company. The absolute headache we're going to have with the modularity on it. The people that are best suited to doing it, unfortunately, the people that are looking at server meshing.
Okay.
They're ironically the people that.
So there you go. It's very, very good to hear those things. What's more important? Modularity or
made the object containers
server meshing?
And a lot of the original pipe system code.
Yeah. Player-facing ship modularity? Question mark.
The people working on it were reprioritized onto other squadron work, so
now
no progress
squadron
since
work.
I last talked about it.
The team that was going to work on it was the vehicle tech team. That those of you who pay attention to the roadmap updates will see they were rebranded, reformed to the Arena Commander feature team. So naturally, doing like core vehicle tech is not particularly part of their remit anymore. That transitioned to the vehicle feature team. So we had a look at what was planned to be done, and around the same time as we were doing that,
who's working on this?
Started working on resource network. Any of the work that we would have done.
Like, these are things like, what do I believe when you've said 3 different people work on this thing, but it only sounded like somebody works on it. Only an individual works on, like an individual team worked on it. The server meshing people worked on it. What? Now that's not.
For the modularity from VTT or VFT, we probably could have rushed it through, got it in now, and then we'd have to have redone it all anyway when Resource Network comes online. So
now it's Resource Network that's in the way.
Should, as far as I'm aware, and from all the meetings I've sat in and been part of, allow us to do that out the gate. So yep.
To me, just sounds like more and more as we go on. This is just what trying to have a live game out there while you're building it is just the problem. I don't think it's like the holding the next carrot. It just, okay, if they never sold anything, this would be normal. Right? But because they continue to sell things related to a system that isn't done is where all the like, what are you guys doing problem comes from.
The assets, they're all still there. They're all just waiting for the underlying tech.
Yeah.
The RSI Galaxy is a...
Sounds like shit organizing? No, I really don't think that that's the case. I think what it is the game blew up to something it couldn't handle with, go back to 2014, 2015. The game blew up into something way more than it was then. And they never could get a handle of how to make it. And then everything that they used to make it broke all of the plans that they had for whatever they were planning originally, whatever they sold back in the day, just totally broke it all. and it's been trying to pick up the pieces ever since, and they just haven't been able
a
to.
multi-role vessel with true modularity.
It's this
that
bullshit
has different sections of the middle of the ship that can be changed out to support significant and real gameplay loops.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that specialized vehicles will always have their place in the persistent universe, but that a more rounded, multi-role experience might just be what's needed out there in the less civilized regions. That the Galaxy isn't just the Connie's big brother, but a return of player-facing modularity and potential harbinger for that system's future development. Harbinger for future development.
Ugh. That was the most difficult thing to watch. I'm sorry. That was so hard. Retaliate later. That's from Galgot100. Thank you for that video, man. I think a lot of people need to see the history of all this, and it was quite a road down memory lane. And yeah, just remember what you're dealing with here. You're dealing with a company that is definitely, clinging on to the dream just as much as we are, but the way they do it is unfortunately by releasing ships like the Galaxy. So disappointing, but eye-opening. And just very eye-opening in terms of it is what it is.